So today we're gonna do something inspired on this little guy here on the other side. And it's gonna be a jewelry holder, mostly kind of a ring holder, and then you can just put something in it because we're gonna do a plate. Um, Before I start, I just wanted to put a link on the chat for the music that you're gonna be hearing today, which is from a friend of mine that is called Fridebo Music. I have no idea if I pronounced this correctly because he's Swedish, but he's gonna tell me. So now I'm gonna lower my camera and start doing this. Maybe just tell you what I'm gonna use. So I'm using hobby clay, normal hair drying hobby clay. I I usually use hair drying because mostly for the convenience, because I'm not super comfortable with putting this stuff in the oven, and household ovens don't really work that well for this kind of clay works. So I find that hair drying clay works perfectly with what I do. But I do make simple things, so I don't know if you're into something a little more complex that you meant to last forever, then maybe you should look into something more serious. Anyway, I don't usually have technical tools and all of that, so to flatten it out, I'm going to use a glass. You're going to see what I'm going to do it. And to cut it off, like, because I want my plates to be kind of oval, I'm actually going to use just a plastic container from an ice cream, which happens to be a nice size, I think, and it can be used to cut it. So now I'm going to start doing it. It helps as well to have just like a glass of a little water, just in case you want to soften something up and clean your hands. Also some paper, just those kind of things that it's good to have. I also have some toothpicks if I want to do some more detailed things, so that since I'm gonna get my hands dirty, that I don't have to go and get stuff in the middle of the project. Okay, so I'm gonna lower my camera. I have a protection in my desk so that I don't ruin the surface. So I'm probably gonna use all that is left of my clay, which is kind of about a little less than half. And I'm just gonna open it up to take it out, because I'm not gonna save it anymore, so I might as well. Okay, so I know that there's parts that are a little more dry because I've used it. So maybe I'll save that to do some more detailed things, I'm guessing, because it's easier to model or to stay. But for now I'm gonna separate kind of this big of a part to make the plate part. So I'm just gonna kind of go around stretching it just a little to make it a little more flat, and then it's helpful if your base is kind of plasticky, because it doesn't like really connect, so I can press it and take it easily. Wait, this can happen as well, so you just have to connect it, no problem. Okay, so I flattened it out a little bit, but now I'm gonna use the glass to make it distend, to make it go bigger, to make it more where the places I want to go. I don't want it to be too thin, because I want it to be kind of sturdy to hang on to what we're doing. See, if it's not plastic enough, this is gonna happen. Mine, apparently it's not perfect, but I'm sure we can manage. Also, it's okay if this is not a perfect soft surface, because you kind of want to give it that rough look. Okay, let's see if I have enough to cut it out. Yeah, looks like I do. So I just press it out and see if I can make it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have the base for our plate. What I'm gonna do is try to lift the edges a little bit to give it precisely the feeling of a plate. Just a hair. Okay. This is gonna go along the way you want to. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I mean, I'm experimenting myself. I have no idea if this is gonna go wrong or right. Just trying. Okay. So, as you can see, this is really like pizza liking, but once it's dry, it's gonna be stiff and it's not gonna fold, which is what we want. Okay, so we kind of have our plate, which is gonna be our lake. So this is the base for what you're doing. Okay, and now you have the rest. So, as you know, Loch Ness is very commonly pictured like the image I have right there, which is with a little arch in the middle and the little tail just in the back. So we're going to start by the tail. And we're going to do this in pieces, and since this is air dry clay, and they might not glue together, I'm going to try to put a little water and make it glue only with the clay. But it's possible that they don't. If they don't, it's okay to just use a little bit of glue once they're dry, of course, to just do it. Okay, let's see how this works. Kind of want to give it a little curve. Okay. I'm afraid today I won't be able to like show you around the pieces very much because they are quite fragile. If I lift them up, they can just go bananas. But basically, what you want to keep in mind is that you want it to be a little thinner than your finger, because you're gonna want to put rings in here. And the same goes for the head. Not so much for the arch because it's gonna be connected, but there you can hang on like bracelets or something. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take this part out. I'm gonna move a little closer so you can see better. Okay, I'm gonna soften it up a little. Okay. Because I don't want it to make too high of an arch, because it won't feel real. It won't feel like it's the real deal. So it's okay, just do your thing. Oh, that was an update notification. Amazing. Good timing. Just making sure everybody's awake. Okay, so it's okay if when you're putting down these kind of things, it's actually sticking up, but I'm gonna put it with a little water and see what happens. It's okay that when you put it, you just kind of mark the plate with your nails and with your fingers, because it kind of gives you the idea of a water splash as well. So it's fine. The same was happening here. This one actually is sticking without the water, so I'm not even gonna try. Okay. This tail is not looking perfect. And it's also okay if you mark it like around. Like I said, this is not gonna be this type of clay. It's also not a material that allows you to have it completely flat, unless you have like all pro tools and all. That's not my case. Okay, so moving on to the head. So this one, I want to make it a little more fat on the base so that it's stable. And also to give it a little more of a kind of a realistic feeling. Okay. I want to make it a little more round for the head. But also remembering that a ring should be able to go through this. Okay. And I'm going to make it a little longer so that we have more to work with. It's okay if it peeks out a little more. I was kind of doing it too low, but we actually want to use this, so we want to put some rings here. Just gonna redo this part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to not make it super wobbly, but let's try. If not, a trick you can do is to use a precisely toothpick. I told you, could come in handy, and just put it inside to make it stay. But I think this guy's gonna be enough of a stable thing. Okay. I think this is the type of thing that can work. Let's see. Okay, that's a little too much water. It's okay. Again, I've been telling you that it's okay to mark the lake surface, but if you prefer to have it more like clean, you can just go ahead with a little water and your finger and just make it soft all around. I'm actually doing it a little bit, just sorry about the wrist in front of the camera, it's the only way I can reach it. Okay. Okay, just I think it looks pretty. Okay, this is not really realistic, so what can I do? Maybe make this a little more wide. Not sure. Okay, I have like faded this part of the head so it doesn't really feel like it ends on a very wide body part and then starts with a very thin tail part right here. But I mean, I don't think that's a big problem. It's just for the sake of looking okay. Okay, see what's happening here? He's falling, so I'm gonna actually have to redo this and put some structure in it. Okay, peel it with care so that you don't mess up your base. And just gonna take the advantage of having the space to do this again. And I'm actually gonna use the toothpick. So I might not need it all the way, but I can break it if I don't. Okay, kind of get a feeling of it. Try not to make it pierce. I'm gonna break it right here. Okay. Have to smoosh this a little bit. But it's okay. Okay, so just softening the neck a little bit. It's harder than I thought. Okay, just hope the head doesn't get too droopy. Okay. The good thing and the bad thing about water using is for once you can soften it up and it looks good, but once your fingers start getting a little more dry, it sticks to everything. Keep pushing parts that you don't want to. Okay. This looks more like something that could have that kind. Oi! Oh, we have a mosquito. Nice. Got completely glued. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Still not completely sure about the difference in thickness in the first parts and the second parts, but I actually am starting to get somewhat satisfied with this part. Okay. Okay, I just softening it a little bit, hoping that it's also helps to glue the different parts. And this looks like a head, and it could totally hold a ring. So I just hope this part gets properly glued. Of course, then with the paint and polishing, everything helps to glue all of this together. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little water run on the edges around. Sorry about the noise of my bracelet. Okay. Okay. If you want, I mean, I did it a little rough and I wanted it to have a not so high of a edge, but if you want it to look like a normal plate, and if you actually have a plate that you are thinking about and that you own, that you like, you can do this and place your first plate part on top of it, and it will take the shape of that one. Okay, I think we are done with this part. Okay, so now I'm afraid there's nothing we can do but wait. We're gonna wait for this to dry. So it usually takes a few hours, but since we're doing different parts and several more thick parts, I'm gonna actually let it dry overnight. So I'm gonna stream tomorrow to do the painting job. And the painting, I must say, it's quite easy to dry and fast to dry. And so I can do the painting and the polishing in the same day. So tomorrow we're gonna finish this up. I wanted to show you a little better, but I'm afraid I might ruin it. So for now you get this view, and tomorrow I'll be able to show you it when it's a little more dry. Oh, as you can see, I was actually expecting to use all my clay, but I didn't. I used about this much, so actually I still have more for future projects, maybe. I'm getting a question in the chat asking if it's going to be a Christmas gift. It can be. It is something that maybe you have a friend or a relative that might like. So yeah, it's definitely an easy and cheap way to get a Christmas gift. I can tell you already that I'm gonna use a watercolor to paint it, so you can just steal something from your little cousins. And then I'm gonna just basically cheat my way through the polish part, because I'm gonna use a normal nail polish, transparent nail polish, because I actually found that it's a very good sealant for, I have no idea if you say sealant. I don't know, but it closes down the clay as you want, and it works very good, very well. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow for the painting and the finishing. Bye bye!